Hello. Glad you could make it to the Good Idea Lab today. Let me check your temperature. 98.6. Perfect. And now your star chart. Today your flow is in your moon sign. You work in order not to relax. Try not to let superiors feel inferior to you. Manifesting a home inside yourself is the key to having one there. Are you sleeping with two eyes open? Perfect. Astrology red. All right? With me now. Look left, look right, look even more to the right. Remember to turn up your headphones real loud. If you can't hear them, they can't see you. All right, volume up. Perfect. The coast is clear. Now that you're inside of our audio workspace, we can talk one-on-one. Can I get you anything? Tea? A throw pillow? An electric blanket, maybe? No? Okay, cool. A beaker full of bubbling corrosive fluid? No? No. Okay. Before we do any design work together, we need to go over a short laboratory briefing. First of all, we don't have many rules here, but we do expect that in between design meetings, our creatives will read something new and interesting, something that will inspire them during their creativity and during their everyday lives. It doesn't matter what they read, but they have to read some part of something. A lot of them, myself included, like to listen to books because it's all the magic of reading, plus all the human connection you get from having a person speak or read to you. Our science from here, in this laboratory, even shows empirically that audiobooks are the most sonically pleasurable way to read. Good Idea has partnered with Audible to tell you that by just reading one more book this year, you will be smarter and feel better. Let me recommend the audiobook for Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. It's got Satan, God, and children, and more. You really can't afford not to listen to that book. If you want to support us and our lavish experiments here at the Good Idea Laboratory, visit audibletrial.com/goodidea to get your free audiobook today. That's audibletrial.com/goodidea to get your free audiobook today. And if you decide you want to cancel the trial, you pay nothing and you can keep your audiobook forever. Okay, advertising over. Second part of the laboratory briefing. We have a guest in the laboratory today, Kye You. You'll meet him in the next room. Kye is a member of the Sinister Parent Company podcast network, a brilliant designer, a great friend, and an Australian person. If you want to find Kye after you're done here, listen to the Crit Chat podcast, where Kye is a host often, and check out Good Idea's House of Bone and Lamplight series. Check out Shattered Worlds RPG even on the Sinister Parent Company podcast network also, or just look up Kye You, that's Kye space YOU on the line. And I think that's about it. There's a door at the back of this laboratory foyer here, if you'll just follow me. And right through there. We're glad you're joining us all today.
Good idea. It's the Morning Joe to your Morning Joe. It's the blue collar to your blue collar. It's the lab coat to your scientists. Speaking of scientists, y'all want to learn something today?
If you are listening to this on the day it's being released, it is October 21st, 2020. It is a beautiful and crisp fall here in Illinois where I am. Very cold, frankly. So, enjoy your October 21st if you're getting on this right away. Otherwise, enjoy whatever other day it is for you. This episode was recorded on the 26th of July, 2020. Welcome.
How about I came back from like a long desert journey?
I love this. George, start monologuing.
You came back from your long desert journey to find yourself replaced.
Yeah.
Can you do it Shakespearean? Oh yeah, George has been replaced by a white man from Australia.
The irony! The irony! The days have been long and harsh. The nights harsher still. Days filled with heat, sand in my eyes. Nights filled with cold and even more sand in my eyes. There's a lot of sand in my eyes. I can't even really see. Is that a microphone I see in the distance, or is that just the Or is that just the, what's it called? It's fucking mirage. Oh, God.
It is a
I think my brain
microphone
is
you
fried.
see in the distance, far from thee, calling you to podcast here. Tonight, George will not be queer. It will be normal once again. I meant queer as in abnormal. Once it's normal, George's friends will podcast now like they podcasted then.
Hey guys. So I was walking down the street and I came across Kye You. Kye You is here. What's up, Kye?
Yeah, back again. You know, nice
Kai,
to
so
be
nice
there.
to have you here because we brought you here last time to replace George.
Yeah, no, I
Open door, slam.
Huh.
I've came here after 30 days and 30 nights.
Hey, George. What's up, man? How you been?
Podcast oasis in the middle of a desert. How did you get here?
George, I love this character. Have you been working on this when you were out?
It's the hate.
Guys.
George, I can't help but notice your 8-foot-long beard.
Also, hey, George is back. Yeah, guys, George is back. You said George wasn't
What's
coming
your-
back.
What's
well,
your
we
point,
told
Kye?
you George wasn't coming back because we were trying to convince you that you were really important.
Right.
Obviously,
See,
that's untrue.
I see. Right. See, the thing is,
Think-
like,
Obviously,
Thanks.
you're not really important, but we
When you-
needed your
when you guys
temporary full
said
engagement.
George was coming back, or wasn't coming back, it made me feel really important. And
I
see,
understand
now I-
you're feeling awkward,
Wait.
Kye, and I just want
No,
to
I
want to
don't.
let you know that we appreciate you deeply. We didn't know George was coming back, so we're as
Yeah,
floored
we
as
thought he
you
was
are.
dead.
I
Oh.
put a post-it
I thought he was in
note
prison, but
on the table
Oh,
saying
hey, guys,
I
I
will be back.
Guys, I hid the post-it note. I'm sorry. I knew where George was. I'm sorry.
Oh
He
my
said he was going
God.
out to the desert, and I figured he was going to have some sort of religious transformation and maybe come back with some wisdom to share
Not
with the
just
world.
any desert, but the podcast desert.
He just came back with a different.
He went out
accent
into the
and an 8-foot-long
podcast
beard.
desert. Yeah.
so you have a religious
Long
awakening,
beard.
George, and you come back with new characters? Is that what's happening?
More so, I am going to use this accent a little bit more, and by a little bit more, I'm probably going to stop using it in roughly 5 seconds.
Oh, thank God.
All right, that's good. We got an end to that. It's sometimes, you know, it's like when you go abroad for school and you come back with a different accent. It's kind of like you go out into
Are
the
you calling
podcast
me
desert and you
out?
start talking weird. I'm not
Or you get a
calling
head
you out
injury
in
and you wake
particular.
up and you have a different accent.
Oh, hey,
That
point of order.
happens.
Can I take a quick business meeting of the four of us right
That too. That'll
here?
happen.
Kye is
Oh, yeah,
still
Here's
sure.
the
here?
thing.
Okay.
I want to apologize to
guys-
Kai because Kai.
So
a quick
which,
business meeting.
Which four
Okay.
of us though? Yeah. So wait, is that the four
Which
of
four
us?
of us?
With
The
me
original.
or with George?
Is it the original four or
Is it the
or
original
the
or is
new
it the
better
reboot?
four?
Or
Kye,
do we
can
just
you
exclude
mute your
Aiden?
mic?
I'm not 100% sure.
Kye, do
We
you
can
mind
exclude
muting your
me
mic
from
for a
this one.
minute
I mean,
while
I
the
really
four
like
of us?
George and
Okay, sure. I'll just take my
Right.
headphones out. You know, okay. They're out. Wait,
that's
hang on.
fine. We don't care.
Kai's
Just,
gonna take-
George.
just tell me when to put my headphones back in so that I know to do it. Okay. Cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll
George.
give you a thumbs up on the video when you got to put your headphones back in. Okay,
George, put
Yeah,
the
put 'em
put
right
the
back in, yeah.
put the accent.
perfect.
George, put the accent and the character to the side for a second. Are you
I
mad
did.
that we replaced you? Is that
I figured you
George,
would at
are you
least replace
insane?
me with someone
Are you mad,
darker.
George? You wish we'd replaced you with someone darker. Listen, Kai, I'm sorry we made you feel so important. Not because you aren't important, but because it was thoughtless of us to do that and then to bring George back and then make you sort of feel like a first, second, third, fourth, or fifth wheel. And we're not really sure yet because we haven't decided who's going to be out of the meeting and sort of what order the meeting line is going to be in. Because, we have meetings in a straight line always with the most important person furthest to the left and so on.
Like, I understand getting replaced mainly because you
Oh, Kai
threw
actually
away
took
the
his headphones off.
post-it note.
Kai actually took
Kye
his
just put
headphones
on his
out.
headphones?
I-
Yeah.
what's going on?
But
We were just going to apologize to you
talking
as a
about you.
show.
I
George
figured
was
you
actually
would go the other
mid.
way in terms of irony, like getting an even darker person to replace me.
Well, we could have got
Instead of
Kami
going
back
the
on,
other
but
direction.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing someone on to replace you just because their skin is darker wouldn't make any sense. And also, I haven't been on as many podcasts with Kami as I have with Kai, so I just felt like it was more appropriate for me to mess with Kai's head about how important he is. Also, I think while it doesn't make sense to me to bring someone on to replace you just because they're darker, Kai, on the other hand,
represents a radical shift in the way Good Idea is going, and so that's why this got awkward.
right, adding
is
another white
because
man.
we heard George was going to
Yeah.
the desert. We didn't think much of it, and we just thought he was being weird and wanted to leave the show. And so we took this opportunity to go, where is Good Idea going to go for the rest of 2020? And we decided,
and I said, I think we need more white people.
Right,
exactly.
obviously.
And so now we're in this weird middle space where
See, I
we have to
disagreed,
decide.
George, but I got outvoted by the white men, so
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I
As
mean,
we-
that'll
as you
happen.
do, as we do.
Well,
as
Jeff
we
and
do.
I both got 2 votes, and G only got 1 vote. So, and we also gave Kai 2 votes on whether or not we would add him to
I
the
did.
cast.
I did
which
really
was-
appreciate that. I did throw 1 vote your way, G, because I thought, like, yeah, you know what?
I thought that was so sweet of you, and then I thought because of how sweet that was, it was weird that G had voted not to have you on the show.
Mm-hmm. It was our voting system is a little arcane, mostly because
Yeah,
George
but so
was
is
in
the
charge of
Electoral
votes.
College, so
Joe was in charge, or George
The
was in
Electoral
charge of
College
setting
is
up
arcane or archaic?
both.
both. Yeah,
I thought he said chaos. Yes.
George was in charge of elections.
the spirit of the second delegate. I don't know
Also,
how
for some
delegates
really
work.
weird reason, George's electors wanted him to choose to keep him on the show, but he went left, and the Supreme Court is involved now. But it's very complicated.
George went
Kai-
2 left, and we were trying to become a more right-wing, whiter podcast, and
Mhm,
so
mhm.
we just.
But
were
now
like,
George is back,
Can't
and
go
so
left. God, if George is going left, we better go hard right.
Were you gonna,
gonna
out
s-
Ben Shapiro? Ben Shapiro?
Well,
Dude, Ben Ben Shapiro's voice I really like, and I wish I could do an impression of it. And I feel maybe I'll come at it in a minute. It's
okay. So
Jeff,
business,
He
old business.
sounds like a 16-year-old.
He's
to me.
awful. He's terrible.
Yes, he does.
I'd rather get Dennis Miller, but we can have that conversation offline. We need to downgrade Kai to guest now, which is awkward. Does
Oh,
anyone want to
okay.
handle that?
Okay. G, since you wanted him out so bad,
I believe a ceremony is in order.
Kai,
Yes. Hello.
fuck you, you're a guest now.
The sacred ceremony has been completed. The sacred ceremony has been
I see.
completed.
Okay.
a guest is pretty much the worst thing you can be, and we can all agree on that. Who's ever slept on somebody's couch?
Hey, don't knock couches till you try.
And then
them.
like they make
Yeah,
weird
well, okay,
food for dinner, and you're supposed to eat it even if you don't like it because that's what's polite. And it's like, but I don't want your broccoli ravioli.
Oh, that actually sounds pretty
Vegetable ravioli is really good, so I don't know what you're talking about.
good. Especially with some melted cheese.
I agree. Depends
Okay,
on the
but G, this is
vegetables.
what I'm saying. So let's say I end up on the East Coast and I hang out at your house for an evening or a couple days, and then you make vegetable ravioli, and I'm supposed to eat it, even though I think it might not be good, and you like it, and it's weird food that you like that I don't.
Yeah, but you could just not
Order
be
a
wrong
fucking
about
pizza.
vegetable
I'm not
ravioli.
I'm
be
sorry,
offended.
Kai. You're the guest.
Order
You
a
have to
fucking
wait.
pizza.
Okay.
No,
sorry.
that's not how this works at all. The guest is expected to explain what they need at all times, so we can be over accommodating.
No, the
All right,
guest is supposed to sleep on a love seat with an Afghan, you know, the blanket with all the holes, and one of those little tiny couch pillows. So,
Or
That's
if
being a
your
guest.
Afghan is missing or torn, get one of those those thick, heavy blankets you get at like local Mexican stores that have a lion on it.
what about when
Yeah.
George? What
Kai-
about when you're a
Kai,
guest? and-
how's your Afghan doing?
What, like in the Middle East?
In the
No,
Middle
we
East,
shipped
yeah.
you an Afghan for just this contingency. It should be coming in
It
the
was
mail.
just for this contingency.
So, but
Did you get that?
can we get back to the show, guys? Are you
It's
ready?
just been terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
yeah.
thought we were doing the show.
We need to introduce our guest.
Okay.
Which one?
Who's our guest? Is Kye?
Oh,
it's
it's
not
me.
George, right? We decided.
Right? Yeah,
It's Kye.
me.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
hello,
you.
everybody.
All right. Introducing our guest is a good idea. Good idea is a brain trust your brain can trust. It is also a comedy podcast where we design the creative and actionable solutions to your real life problems. I am Aiden Kinsella, and the first person I'm going to introduce, because that would be the most polite thing to do, is our guest, recently demoted, Kye You.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm here as a guest. It's an interesting experience. Yeah, good idea.
Very good.
Be our guest.
It is a podcast.
We've all been
I'm
fired
G.
from a part-time job.
I'm not a guest. I was promoted a long time ago, and I've never been demoted.
G was promoted a long time ago to full-time. You're never
Hey,
leaving?
guys, I know I was being a dick earlier, but like now I feel bad about it. And we're just kind
That's
of
good.
rubbing it in Kye's face at this point.
Are we? Or is this
feel
improv
terrible.
that we're playing really hard, Jeff? Introduce yourself.
Okay.
Yeah,
Damn
I think I got a
Aiden,
little bit
was
too
doing
into
a
it with that
twist.
boo.
I was doing an improv twist.
A twist?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A
Let me try
Shyamalan
again. Let me
twist?
try again. Let me yes
Okay,
you
here we go.
harder.
Here
Let
we
me
go.
yes you harder.
Reset.
Is it
Okay.
bullying or is it just fun improv? You know, who can tell?
Porque no
Is
los
it
dos.
just fun
Who knows,
improv or is it bullying? I don't
It
know.
could
Have
be
you ever
both.
seen Don Rickles? Okay, Jeff, let's try this. Let's try this again. I'll yes you harder this time.
Guys, I feel kind of bad for being such a jerk to Kye earlier, like as a bit. And now I feel like maybe we should be nice to him.
Oh my God, Kye, I'm so sorry. Fuck. This is the worst podcast ever.
Oh,
We're
no,
you're
Aiden.
spreading negativity and hatred, and it's horrible. And I'm sorry. We
Jeff-
were really mean to you.
Jeff, make it stop.
I just shot
Kye,
spit
Kye,
out of
I'm
the
gonna press a
side of
button.
my. I put hands to my face in horror, and like some spit shot off the side. This is not a bit.
This is not
I,
a bit. Jeff did a spit.
You guys
Aiden,
remember
I wouldn't-
whenever
I wouldn't
spit
say
all
any of
over my
that.
recording equipment and my window and do y'all remember that? Y'all made me laugh
I
so
do.
fucking hard that I couldn't breathe.
Mhm.
Wait, was
I
that,
do
Not gonna
actually
lie.
was that
remember
I
when
was
you
also
spat. What
laughing really hard?
was that? The Elon Musk one where I was
It
being
was the Elon Musk. one.
Elon Musk's little brother,
Yes.
and I said something about kissing him in an elevator or something.
Yes, it
Or not
was.
kissing
And
him in
I
a space
lost
station.
It was a
my
trip.
mind.
Something like that. Kye, what were you gonna say? I'm so sorry. We were doing a little.
I was going to say
throwback
that I
there.
actually have I have no memory of that event. Actually,
no memory of that event.
no, not at all.
This
I don't
was
think you were
before
there
you
for that
became
one.
a host and then got demoted.
This is before
to
you
guest.
became a full-time, temporary, one-time host.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's it.
Jeff, did you finish introducing yourself?
No, I'm Jeff
Because
Richardson.
we did a
Um,
hard improv turn. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go again.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
go
yeah.
again.
I'm awesome. I'm Jeff Richardson. I'm a writer, podcaster, raconteur. You know, just out here doing it.
Jeff, you're awesome. Everything is awesome. More like your podcast. That's the name of Jeff's podcast. Gee, you're
Mhm.
okay. Now I'm playing too hard. Gee, you're up. Have you introduced yourself
I
yet?
did. It's Jeff's turn.
I think they did. I think they
Jeff
did,
just
yeah.
went. Jeff just went. George, did you go?
Nada. I'm your
Okay.
desert wanderer, George Diaz. What up, fam? I look super
up,
tan.
George Diaz.
I love that beard.
Totally. I have
That's a great
bloodshot
look.
eyes.
George, that beard and the bloodshot eyes and the dagger.
I'm
I'm
voguing.
loving this look.
I'm
George, have you been
voguing.
drinking out of a
Post-apocalyptic.
cactus?
I may or
George,
may
there's
not have done a
spines coming
sock
out of
and
your-
drank out of a cactus.
Yeah,
You
that's,
got these little.
Oh, Kye, were you going to
That's a
explain
bad
cactus sucking?
I was just going to say that can be a bad time. I've been there. It's not fun.
The high is
You
good,
sucked
but
a
like the
cactus?
crash is, yeah, the crash is
Right,
pretty bad.
yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard crash.
I
Good
heard
thing
you
there's
can drink
sand.
out
Okay,
of. I heard you can drink water out of cactuses that aren't peyote.
Okay.
Is that
It's
true?
I
possible.
thought peyote was an
Okay.
herb.
Well, cactuses are a herb. And
Yeah, they're
Like
little
bananas,
flowers
you
that
know?
grow on a certain type of cactus. Way to take the fun out of it, George. I was over here sucking
Come on,
sex
George.
juice out of a cactus.
George, Kye is right here, dying to take your place.
Nah, I gotta take my
snap.
rightful throne.
You are on
As the,
thin, George. You're on thin
One
ice
that
right
steals
now.
the jobs. That's my job.
You're the one.
Is it fun
All
improv
the
or just
Mexicans
bullying?
stealing the Native Americans' jobs.
Yeah, know what? Y'all, Jeff is right. Peyote is a cactus.
Peyote is a cactus, and cacti are peyote, and we should all eat cacti because that would be fun.
Actually,
Welcome to Good
I think my
Idea,
grandma and
where
grandpa do that a lot.
correlation. What?
Equals causation.
George said
that's
something.
not
I
what I
stepped
do.
on him.
Yeah, what did George say?
I said that my grandparents actually eat cactus quite a bit.
Cool.
I don't like it. It's too bland.
It is.
So you've had it before yourself?
I think once or twice, yeah.
It has a
like-
fun texture.
Okay.
I think of it as like a firm tofu. You really gotta squeeze it, marinate it, and flavor it, and then it's.
Oh
good.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and it'll take on the flavor of anything you cook it with.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
like I've had it
mm.
plain, like straight up, but like it
Do
doesn't
they
taste like
suck
anything.
the sex juice out of it first?
Well, it's already dried up and stuff. It's like imported from
Okay,
like
cool.
Southwest U.S. at the very least, and like Central or Southern Mexico at the very most. So, or at least I presume so. I don't know. I don't know the cactus trade.
George doesn't know the cactus trade, and we should stop bothering him about it. Kye, do you know the cactus trade?
I think we eat prickly pears like very, very occasionally over here.
Are you more of a
Prickly pears?
Joshua Tree kind of guy?
Shh, who's Josh?
Who's Josh?
He's a
George?
tree. He lives mostly in Central California.
Central California. Oh, like is it one of those world trees with like a world naval sort of water spring at its base?
Yes. And Kye, what's going on with you?
Best yes and ever.
Just,
Well,
just
now, yes,
some
and
We
Fine
gotta, hey
art
guys, we
right
should.
there, yeah. It's spectacular.
So this episode, oh, Jeff got up and left. This episode is so far seems like it's going to be a big competition between George and Kye, just for dominance, sort of the space, and for Kye, you could always be remoted because things happen in patterns. There are things that are remoted. I don't mean because you're so far away and recording with us. I mean like moded again.
I get
pro
you, yeah.
moded again. Just
Yeah,
sort
so
of
like, so things. What you're telling me is
I don't
things
know,
happen,
but things happen.
and like accidents happen,
Yeah.
as it were. You know.
Kai,
Yeah.
I will say
Accidents
that.
happen. Jeff has to go pee. BRB.
Kai, I will say, if you have your wisdom teeth still, you might have definitely will have an advantage because mine have been taken out, so I have less wisdom stat.
So I've got they've got an increase to my wisdom stat.
So
Gotcha.
his business end is a little bit less toothy, possibly, than yours.
People do
George's
call me
business
wise.
Uh,
end.
Yeah.
George, can you describe your business end, please?
Yes, and it's very profitable despite what's going on.
You have a very profitable business end.
Yeah, I instead of an OnlyFans, I have an only end.
An only end. That's good. Where can I subscribe? And what if I is it a subscription?
Yes, it is a paid subscription service.
Okay, and what do I get?
Confetti.
We're just waiting for Jeff to get back. Confetti?
Yeah, you get confetti. They all say business on it in different languages.
Oh, it's business confetti. Very professional. That's the way to make money. Always be professional.
But here's
Always
the
be
thing.
professional.
Unlike other confetti, it is biodegradable,
Always.
which means it's good enough to
Jeff,
if
you should
don't
be
gotta
sorry
feel
you're
that
back.
guilty.
Jeff just sent a text message that says, "Sorry, I'm back." You should be sorry,
I'm
Jeff.
dad.
Hi, back. You're dad.
I still got it.
You still got it, George. That's what you think, George. You think you still got it, but Kye might have it again later. What I was saying was that things happen and history repeats itself. It's patterns, things happen repeatedly. So Kye, you've been a host once. You've been a guest multiple times. You will likely be a host again. We're just waiting for George to slip up 3 times.
Quite likely.
Guy, did you happen to bring any? Did you happen to bring any nascent
George is waiting
ideas?
on G to slip up. So
Any ideas? Well, yes, and
I like where this is going.
this is always a good start in improv.
Yes.
Hang on. And ideas, yeah, yes, and
Yes.
And,
And what are they? Say 1 or 2 of them.
see, that's
Scene. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, guys, I was gonna say we introduced ourselves, we introduced the show, we're all bagging on each other, and it's really fun. But some other people need help, and I said, but I should have said business end. Okay,
This is a business we're running here,
And
guys. Business.
this
end.
is a business we're running. Jeff, while you were gone and pissing, we were talking about George's business end.
And it's very profitable.
George has a very
might even
profitable
say
business
it's-
end.
You might even say it's.
Too profitable.
You also might even say it's fat.
With a PH or with an F,
Of course.
or with some other combination of letters that makes the sound.
All three.
PHAT, pretty hot and tempting.
Pretty hot and tempting. Ooh, I've heard that song by the. I had a name in my head. I was gonna say the Philharmonic, but it's not. They're like
The
a cappella cover band.
Delphonics? Is it the Delphonics?
The Delphonics. Who are they?
The cool 70s soul.
Guys, we're getting really off track, and we did that last time. What is a prompt? This happens repeatedly. What is a prompt that we can?
I'm glad you asked, Aiden.
Yes.
So I've got one really heavy one that I think we should wait on. We have 28 bones later. That
Heavy
could be a
weight.
thing.
I have an idea. Just now.
There we go.
Kai has an idea.
So
Okay.
imagine for a second you're a fish in a pond. Maybe you're a koi. It's a pond. It's a rather small experience. You know, like your whole world
I really
is
like where
confined
this is
to
going.
like maybe like a couple hundred square meters. What if you want to see the world? Go on a holiday, experience other cultures. A holiday provider
So
service
I'm a koi.
for koi.
For koi, a holiday provider. Okay. No, this is important because rich people have a lot of koi, and they want their koi to be lively and energetic and happy
No,
in their koi
and
pond.
cultured.
G, go ahead.
I got it. Flood the pond.
G has it. Flood the pond. That's true. That's it. And then everywhere for all the rich people's houses will be like Venice.
No. I have a better idea.
George has a better idea. Okay, George.
That's not
You
what
really
the show is
VR.
called, George.
You
George, that's
Koi
not what the show
VR?
is called.
Yes.
better idea.
Attach VR headsets to every koi.
I think my idea is a little less expensive, but I like where this is
That's
going.
the point, though. We're targeting wealthy
Sorry,
people.
business end.
Well, if you want to target more expensive, I feel like my solution's one better. We create a series of pipes and tubes connecting all of the koi ponds to the ocean.
So they can play Mario.
they
Mario.
can swim out and go wherever they want. You know.
Not
Well, of
Mario.
course, Aiden,
Swim out
we
and go
will
wherever
have-
they want.
Aiden, we will have our crack team of Marios and Luigis making sure those pipes are clear of violent turtles, violent mushrooms, other things
That'll
like that.
happen.
And
But I want to
bullet
hear
bills.
about
Violent
these koi
mushrooms and
ponds.
turtles. Bullet bills. Okay, so these koi ponds, we're gonna flood them. We're gonna give the fish access to VR technology. Okay, I like this. We're gonna put
So
pipes
with
in
G-
between.
With your idea, you're going to flood them. Like, to what extent are we flooding the koi ponds?
Are we talking water world?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is that what we're thinking?
This is
Yeah,
like a water
like no
world
more
situation.
Uh,
No more land.
This is
No
Wait a
more
minute.
land.
Wait. How do
G,
you get from
I think
flood the ponds?
I think Team Aqua got to you.
Yeah, I was about to say.
How do you go from flooding the ponds to flooding the entire world? Where'd all this water
If you
come
flood
from?
the entire world,
all
it's just
over
one
the
big
world,
pond.
Jeff. There are ponds.
If we flood the
everywhere,
whole
Jeff.
world, Jeff,
if you flood
people-
every
there will be
pond,
ponds
the
everywhere.
whole world will be flooded. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
Is it Minnesota that's the land of 10,000 lakes? I hope
Yes.
so.
Yes, you're
I think
correct.
it's not really fair that they're the only place that gets to be the land of 10,000 lakes. So the whole
Did you
world will
guys
be the
know
land of one big pond.
that if we emptied the entirety of Lake Erie, it would cover the entire United States in 5 feet of water?
Wouldn't it all drain off
Okay,
into the
that's
ocean,
pretty
though?
cool. That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Kai
Didn't
just
know
dropped
that.
some boring science on you, G.
Because that's the thing. If we want to
So-
conduct this plan, we can't just flood the ponds because there's a finite amount of water in the world. We'd have to redistribute all of the land, all the troughs and valleys to be perfectly, well, not perfectly, but roughly even across the entire planet. I think that's perfectly achievable.
Oh,
I'm just
okay. You're
worried about
talking
water.
flat planet. Wait, Kai's talking about flat planet.
Exactly. Flat water world.
We could also do a thing where we slowly over time shrink the ice caps, which will then raise the water table, much higher. That's another
still
option.
be mountains and stuff, though. Like
Hmm.
you end up with like a Legend of Zelda Windwalker situation, but that's not good enough in my book.
All right, that one's out, guys. You heard it. Let's go to.
Do you mean
flat
Wind
planet.
Waker?
What did I say?
You said Windwalker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean Windwaker.
I thought that.
Kai,
No, that's
this
just
is
a
why you're
secret
a guest.
Zelda game. That's the secret Zelda game that's yet to be released.
Okay, so I think Kai, that is a brilliant point that we should make more vacation experience for Koi. I do have one point to raise. If the whole world is just one big pond for Koi, how is it possible to vacation at all? Because it's all one place. Where do you go? How do you escape the realities of your situation?
You vacation
That's
from
where the big
freshwater to
guys.
saltwater.
That's where the
Is Earth not technically all one place?
Right?
That's a good point.
That's true.
That's
That's a
why
good point.
We have to
G
go to
is Native
space.
American, so they're really experienced with that idea. This is why G is a host.
I mean, yes. Are you telling me you brought me on just for my mixed person perspective?
No, I'm fucking kidding. I did a bit where I said this is why you're a guest a second ago to Kai. And this whole episode we've been talking about the racial makeup of the show.
Now, we all bring our own particular strengths, but one of G's strengths is the ability to think globally. I like this. I like that.
I think my
we're
strength is the ability to be half Cherokee and half white. I think that's what Aiden was saying.
You think that's what your strength is? I think your strength is that people heard you on Soiree the first episode and were telling me they thought you were extremely funny specifically.
That is mind-blowing to me, by the way. I'm just going to let you all know that.
I'm telling you, that is.
Gee,
I
you're
thought you were
hilarious.
funny, and other people thought you were funny, and that's why we brought you on. It's not
Honestly,
because
I could
you're
see you
half
as a
Native
stand-up
American.
comedian. No lie.
No.
Yes.
George, that's why we're podcasters.
This is why
The
we're
idea
podcasting.
of being looked at in
the
person is
reason that I'm
terrifying.
a podcaster is because standing up in front of people, that's scary.
Tell that
There
to
is no
live
That's
shows.
scary.
Tell
Also,
that to live
honestly,
shows.
just standing.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It's overrated.
Who says you can't do a sit down comedy? Oh wait, that's what this is.
Sit down
All
comedy.
of those
That's what they
words
say.
That's why a lot of them bring
individually
stools on
Exactly.
stage.
are terrifying.
Kai, you've stood
Okay.
up in front of people and talked before, right?
Kai,
Me?
you've talked in front of people while you're standing.
I've never done any kind of like stand-up comedy. No. No.
Kai, listen. I think the next idea that I have is to change that. I want to hear a tight 5.
So I think I've talked about this with you guys before. Like when I do this kind of comedy and all that, I have a really hard time sort of doing any kind of solo thing.
Okay.
My kind of humor is very much like that of like a straight man, which is ironic, you know.
Yes.
But of course, that kind
Yeah,
of humor only works when you have somebody else to play off. And so,
Mhm.
if I were to do any kind of actual like live performance, I would probably do it with a partner of some kind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Solo straight
makes a
men
lot of
are
sense.
fascinating to me because they somehow are able to it's kind of like Clint Eastwood with the chair. They're somehow able to put the funny person into the ether or like invisible.
Yeah. And I currently
very
am
wild.
nowhere near good enough for that.
Kai, the nice thing is that the way you did that whole thing, your 1 minute long tight 5 sounded like a stand-up routine. It was perfect. It was you. It was great. You were telling your story. That's what you do when you're a stand-up. You get on stage, you say how you see the world. That's what you just did. It was a perfectly tight 5 in 1 minute.
Or
I'd say
you
there
could just
wasn't really
repeat the same shtick over and over again, like
Repeatedly.
That's
Yeah.
why I
I'd say that I'm
can't
not
do
really
it.
like
I don't
focusing on any kind of like comedy right now. I'm just sort of talking about the process.
Oh, yeah.
There's no joke here. That's my point. Like, it's a
There's
different
no
kind
punchline that we're working towards right now.
no.
hey, it can't all
No,
be
you just-
ha-has and giggles.
Can't all be
That's right.
ha-has and giggles. There is not going to be anything funny that comes out of what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, we
regarding
have
Kye and
souls,
stand-up.
damn it.
We have
so
souls and
the,
we're just sharing
somebody,
them, and absolutely nothing funny is going to come out of this.
if I can go back to flat Earth, big water for a second.
Yeah,
now all
flat
the
Earth, big
koi are
water.
connected.
Okay, what you got?
All the
Yeah.
koi are now connected, not through tubes anymore, but big water, salt and fresh, according
we
to George,
covered
which I don't know
fish
how that
tubes?
works, but koi.
I think we were talking
touched-
about it earlier, yeah.
We touched on them briefly, specifically as regards to Mario and Luigi and cleaning pipes. But now we have big water, no need for tubes, but koi still
Right,
need a
obviously.
way to vacation because that was the original prompt. So I think wooden rafts staffed by humans with kind of elevated ponds on top of them, maybe like a bathtub.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
I've
like
Okay.
land
had
ponds.
another separate troubling realization. Why did we put the koi
What's
in the
that, Kye?
ponds in the first place?
I don't know, but I just
Because
realized that
shiny
land
fish
ponds are
separate
normally
them.
called islands.
Why did we have
Because
to
shiny
separate
fish?
the koi apart from each other? Like, what was so
Wait,
threatening
okay, hold
about
on.
the koi that we couldn't allow them
Fuck.
to unionize?
Fuck. That's a good
You know,
question.
humans, anti-union
It's
till
co-
the
co-
end.
What is a workplace
Kids-
if not a pond?
We had to get them apart from each other so they wouldn't engage in conspiracy.
Also, so they
That
don't do
was
koi
awful.
to us.
Koi.
I don't think you know how
there-
koi
there-
tips
there
George,
were-
you're
works,
fucking
George.
fired.
You can
George-
coit,
Kye, I have
With
some good
two
news
koi.
for you.
which is
Well-
often what you have in a pond,
Kye, I
George.
have some-
I challenge your premise on the fundamental basis coitus.
All right, Desert Man. Desert Man. You're a half host right now. Kye, you're promoted to half host.
So together we're one host, is what you're saying.
Together, you're one host.
So we're sort of like Jaeger
right,
piloting the
right,
host
because
position.
there can
Okay.
only be 4, obviously.
Yeah,
There can
It's
only
like
be
a-
4, and you guys need to
So
sort of
wait.
enter the drift.
it's like a
So
four-time
we're
Highlander
like in a
situation.
Megazord, like some Power Rangers situation.
Yeah.
Well,
you
you
know,
and
to fight a
but you
kite.
and it's like you and Kye will form the left arm.
Mhm.
Oh, I see.
But you both have to work together to make it work.
so
You
we
have to
sort
work
of
together. George, you're the middle finger
Collectively-
and the pinky, and Kye is the other 3 fingers.
collectively we're a Gestalt entity, but me and George are a specific Gestalt entity as part of this larger It's got layers, is what you're telling me.
It's got layers like a lot of
Okay.
comedy and onions and Shrek references.
It's
And
got layers,
And
but
cakes.
I feel
Aiden, Jeff, and G represent larger and more important sections of the whole, which is why the two
it's
of you are
mostly
currently
me and
You're
Jeff
battling.
and G that
overselling
are
yourself a
important
little
pretty
bit.
much.
Hey.
Jeff.
Oh,
Ooh.
Jeff, G and I are both going to be promoted to 1.25 hosts, and you're going to be a half host like the other ones. But Jeff, you're your own half host, so you sort of have your own singular gestalt going on with just like it's like a city state. Like there's less power,
I am Legion.
but you still get 2 votes.
Oh, you mean like
Right,
in our,
because
in our
you're a
business
white man.
meetings?
Right. You still get some
The
privilege.
Yeah,
vote-
because
the
you're a
voting
white
thing
man.
is entirely
Well, I
separate
wanna-
to the
I
the
think we
Megazord
talked about
idea.
this on our first episode as a group.
Did
not
we?
including Kye, so don't listen, Kye.
Oh, okay.
is-
Take my
Do you
headphones
guys
out again.
feel how much better the chemistry
No.
is now than it was in the first episode? It's awesome. Feel this, you guys. This is awesome. It's awesome. Shit. It's really nice, especially with G and I wielding more power than the rest of you. Like, it
Right,
like the balance
obviously.
is feeling better.
Hey, at
The
least
show-
one
the show
POC's
is-
rising up.
Well, yeah, you know, you gotta have a rise up.
POC rise up.
Unless they quit,
POC
in which
rise
case
up.
we
That's
don't
the
want
point.
You're gonna kill me. I'm gonna die.
Guys, we just
really,
stumbled
really
into-
that is all it's about. We're just moving people around. We want it to be more representative of different races for arbitrary reasons, and that's really what we're working on right now.
So I think we just
I
stumbled
don't know.
into
Jeff, what were you gonna say?
A contemporary topic, which is
did we?
Yeah, which is who's running the world? How much of a percentage are they getting? And can anything be done to level the playing field, to have flat Earth, big water, essentially?
Bulldozers.
Tanks? No. Tanks, but take away the guns, so it's just big treads.
So
Just big treads, sort of
What if
drive
we
them
put,
around
like-
everywhere.
what if we put like a scoop on the front of the tanks to sort of like maximize their efficiency?
I think.
Oh yeah, so we get
That's a
scoop-
bulldozer.
so they can like deliver ice
Wait,
cream.
is a
while they're
bulldozer
driving.
just a blue collar tank?
Yes.
Exactly. But here's the thing: we already have all the bulldozers, and now all the tanks are bulldozers too. So we have twice as many bulldozers.
Double the bulldozer.
You know what's cool about
Double
big
bulldozer.
tank?
Double the bulldozers.
What's cool about a big
sort of
tank
like
with
a-
a scoop is you can fit more protesters into it. Bigger
You can
scoop.
fit more protesters into a big tank with a scoop, so we can, bring peace faster by removing the
Scoop-a-doo.
dissent.
Or rich people, if you're us. We'll brand it the Scoop Diddy Poop. Kanye West
Scoop Diddy
version.
Poop. The Scoop Diddy Poop, Kanye West version. Y'all, Kanye is very talented, and I see all this stuff in the news, and I don't actually follow any of it, but I just hope he's okay, and I hope that he gets the help that he needs, and I just want to say
that dude
because
really needs
he's-
some help. I really hope he gets that help. 'cause
He
that
makes
dude's a
art for
musical
people,
genius.
He's not perfect, but he makes art for people, and he's a person, so I hope he's well.
I hope he gets better.
Okay, what else? I don't. We got to do more prompts for sure. I'm just stopping so we can all get on the same page again. Sort of start moving in a productive direction. We've got scoops. We've got boulders. I feel like we're spending a lot of time trying to make the world flat, and the problem is that's already the situation. So we're fine. I think we don't even need to worry about the bulldozers.
Mm-hmm. We need to bulldoze the rich and spread out their stuff.
Bulldoze the rich.
Obviously.
Spread out their stuff. Obviously.
Hey,
Okay.
I got a prompt
So
here
we're
from
filling the
Charles
world with
Robles.
Koi. Did we?
Filling
I
the
love
world
Charles.
with koi.
Charles filling the world with koi. Is that what he said?
That's what you just said.
I'm so lost. Oh,
You just said that. So Charles Robles
I was
said
rambling
making,
a little bit, not super paying attention.
Charles Robles says making proper coffee, and I said
that the
usually we
question?
do like
Proper.
yeah, it's a question. Go ahead.
No, that was it. That was my question. Is that the question?
Right.
Wait,
So that's what confused me.
Was that your question though?
That was my question. Yeah.
Okay, right.
It's G's question.
Yeah. So I just want to get a good level of everybody's question.
For the,
Does
for
anyone
the
We're about to
listener,
go into
who
an
wants
endless
to do it
circle.
all
We
right
need to
now,
stop going
so
into an
there's-
endless circle.
So my questions for making
What I was
proper
trying
coffee.
to say is there's a lot of lag, so we're all kind of talking over each other.
Okay, you want perfect coffee? Like,
well, here I want to
These
drill
are
down in the
chocolate.
deets.
Yeah, no.
Can-
I
can-
want to
can
hear
you-
the whole. I want to hear the whole thing. Let Jeff.
Yeah,
let Jeff talk,
I
so
actually
can
do want to
All
hear the
he
questions.
wants is a
I thought that was
proper
the
cup
whole
of
thing, my bad.
coffee made in a proper cup of coffee pot.
So I think
I like that jingle.
I think one question
Okay,
I'd
so
like to know,
write down coffee
and
pots.
here is my question.
It's,
That's a good idea.
What is
It's not
improper
a. That's
coffee?
not a jingle. That's like an actual theater warm up. Have you never heard that before?
Choir.
Oh my. So
All I want is a
usually
proper cup of coffee made in a proper cup of coffee pot.
Did anyone?
What's the rest
all
of
I
it,
want-
Aiden?
Yeah. Oh no, we just would repeat that, but I could
Oh,
make up the
there's
rest
more.
of it. But Kai was trying to talk, and I lost Kai.
We're
okay,
all
Kai would
trying
like
to.
to know a question.
My question was like, if there's proper coffee, what is improper coffee? You know?
It's
son
like-
of a bitch.
I can tell you what improper coffee is.
But can you give me like a
Okay.
clinical definition so
Any
that we can
coffee
have
that
like
hasn't been brewed within the
empirical?
last hour.
No,
Like,
any
if
coffee
this
that
is
hasn't been
controversial.
brewed
Old,
in
if
the last
old coffee,
20 minutes.
Old coffee.
We lost Kai.
Yeah,
We can
so we'll
do
get back to what
improper.
Kai.
We'll do improper
Kai is
coffee when
back.
Kai gets.
But Jeff,
Kai's
what were
back.
you saying?
Yeah, so usually like Good Idea does like new kinds of coffee or new uses for coffee. And this one's unusual because it's like a how-to and how-tos are odd, right? Cuz usually there's like one way to do a thing or two, and we're going to do a whole bunch, I think.
How
I mean,
to is
that's
it
usually
unusual
how
for
it is.
this situation too? Because it implies that we know what we're talking about and we can explain how to do it.
Well, we always know what we're talking about, and we can always explain how to do it. We got to get back. We got to get back into doing that. I think the lag just crushed us there.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So let's define our terms. What is improper coffee?
Jay, you had a
Improper
different.
coffee is any coffee that has been sitting on the coffee maker for more than an hour.
So I
Yes,
dispute that
okay.
because
I'm okay
if it
with
has
that.
cooled-
I
if
drink
it has
that, but it doesn't
cooled-
taste as good.
If it has cooled, it's improper.
If it is cooled.
If you have to re-microwave it, it's improper coffee. It's not good coffee anymore. Just brew more coffee.
now, are you using the term improper to mean a specific thing, or is this just generally like coffee that is bad, as it were?
That's a good question.
I think,
Both.
well,
G's
it
told
can-
us a way to make it bad, but how
Because I
could
can
you
think
make
of
it
many
like,
other ways to make coffee bad that aren't that specific definition. Like you could, I don't know, there's no coffee, or it's full of cyanide, or there's a goldfish in it.
Or a koi
These
fish.
are
And they
all
could all be
improper
freshly
I would
made.
like to know why.
But would they be considered proper coffee?
Now I want to know what makes goldfish coffee improper coffee.
Well, because you're
There's
like,
a fish in it.
Well, there is a dead fish in it.
But why is
Or a
that a
living
bad
fish.
thing?
How do we know it's dead?
It's
Like,
dead, Aiden.
because
It's
you-
been boiled.
It's an extremely caffeinated fish.
It's been extruded through a coffee machine.
perhaps it's a heat-resistant
It's a fish
goldfish.
that
I
it-
don't know.
The fish is
Yeah,
trying
that's
really
a good
hard
question.
to finish its
Was
term
the fish
paper.
in the coffee pot or was it
It's part
in
of a
the
school.
filter earlier? Like which part of the
That depends, George.
I'm
Or-
simply imagining a cup of coffee has been put in front of you, and maybe it's a little bit cold. Not quite an hour or so, but maybe like 40 minutes, so it's cooled down a bit. Cool enough for a fish
Like
to
a
now survive
comfortable,
inside it.
balmy Florida beach water
Exactly.
temperature.
Right.
You know fish can't survive in coffee, right? Like
Well,
even if
right.
it was just in the coffee pot cup, it would still not just be swimming around, it would die.
Gee.
Yes.
Listen, coffee is mostly water.
No.
All right. Dead live or just kind of
Incorrect.
adding to the flavor. If you put a live goldfish in the top part where you make the coffee, it'll probably die. If you put it in coffee,
It will probably
it'll
die
probably
if you
die.
put it in the top part.
I have an
If
interesting
you
probably
boil it, it'll probably die.
Is-
But
Most
here's a
likely.
twist. What if
Hold on,
it's
let's
a
let Jeff finish.
99?
Yeah.
What if it's a 99% water solution with just a little bit of coffee? Can you
Right.
get a goldfish
Okay.
just kind of
Have you
Like hyper?
ever taken care of a fish?
It's
Just out of curiosity.
Never.
Because-
if you say that every time you've taken care of a fish, it's died almost immediately, then I'm going to argue you have never
No.
taken care of a fish.
I am not. I'm actually going to say the opposite. I'm going to tell you that
Okay,
it's actually
okay.
very challenging and difficult to take care of a fish. You have to measure the pH of their water. You have to feed them at exactly the right time every single day, or they will literally eat until they explode.
I'm also
you
like
have to
not necessarily
make sure that they
proposing
don't get
the-
fin rot. You have to make sure that they don't get ick. You have to, like, fish are very finicky creatures. So I don't think
I'm also
Jeff has
not.
proposed we get the
1%
coffee to a proper pH.
99%
Yeah.
pH, like proper pH water. Even just if you put a little bit of coffee in there, I don't think that that's going to work for that fish. Because I will remind you that things still cannot survive in the
The fish
Boston
needs
Harbor.
more caffeine to
The
satisfy its
Boston
addiction.
Harbor is still uninhabitable by marine life because of the Boston Tea Party. So
There's
I
so
don't
many
think-
English people living in there because they drink tea full time, live, eat, and breathe it.
The Boston
The thing
Harbor
is, too,
is
like-
literally like mostly tea. It's bad.
The thing is, the fish
Mostly
doesn't
tea.
even
Kye, you've been
live
trying to say something.
in this coffee cup. You know, like this is just for the purposes of drinking this coffee. The fish has been put in the cup, and now you're expected to drink the coffee. Not
This is
necessarily all of
technically-
it.
The fish is dead.
But
We're
once
It's
still
a dead
over-
fish.
No,
That's what we're arguing. We're arguing
fish-
whether the fish is alive or dead, and the fish is dead.
the fish doesn't
Right.
die instantly.
So
Like,
there's a dead
coffee
fish
isn't
in your
an
coffee.
Instant killer for fish.
And yes,
There
that
is a
does
fish-
make
Kye's
it-
right. Kye's.
The fish
Whether
is
the
spending
fish is in the
You
top
are right.
part,
Yeah, you are
in
right,
the
Kye.
water,
Coffee,
The fish
you know?
is
in the
dead.
cup, it's all
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Go ahead. Go
Beetlejuice. I'm gonna say it 3 times so he shows up, and so it's repeatedly, and also because I need everyone's attention. Listen to me. Okay, this is like at that Greek restaurant, Opa, where they come out with the cheese and they light the cheese on fire right at the table. Or like at the restaurant, Sukasa, where they make the volcano out of the onion right there on your table. Steam, chew, 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 volcano.
Do you guys
train.
think that putting a fish in
this
hot
is like
coffee
that.
wouldn't insta-kill the fish?
The coffee's not hot. It's been cooled
No,
down.
I just hold on. I need to finish. This is so important because I'm suggesting what Kye is. I'm following what Kye is suggesting, and I'm trying to explain to you, G, why this makes sense. So it's like at Opa, right? Where when they get to your table, they light the cheese on fire. And so the cheese doesn't like totally shrivel up and disappear and die immediately. The cheese remains alive for a certain period of time before the fire totally cooks it. Listen, so you bring or like lobsters before they die when you boil them. This is like that at the Red Lobster. You bring the fish out with the coffee at the coffee shop. Let's say you're at Starbucks and they have a koi pond in the Starbucks. It's a really fancy Starbucks. And so they they stick their bare ass hand in their bare ass business end to pick up a fish out of the thing. They put it in your coffee right when they bring it to you. So there's a live fish in your coffee for at least a few seconds. That's all.
So
cool.
alive or dead?
Saying.
Alive or dead? A fish in the coffee, that's an improper cup of coffee. I think we got that covered. Proper pH, though.
I had an interesting thought. Is coffee an anaerobic environment? Because goldfish do weird things.
It's a great question.
I have the Whoop. I have the Whoop fitness band, and whenever I'm drinking coffee, it says I'm building anaerobic. I'm doing anaerobic training. It says
I'm going to assume that's
Aiden
the case.
did insinuate. He didn't even insinuate. He just straight up stated that coffee is mostly water earlier. Water is not an anaerobic environment. That said, I think Aiden is wrong.
That's nothing new.
La-dee-da. Maybe you should get 2 votes.
This is a good idea, right? Right now we're trying to figure out what is an improper cup of coffee. We've covered fish, alive or dead. Now we need to get into anaerobic or aerobic. I like an aerobic cup of coffee. That's just me. I also want a proper pH.
My reasoning for this, Jeff.
Well, we're trying to figure out if you can even have an aerobic cup of coffee. G and Kye are working this out right now.
Because it has interesting ramifications because goldfish, really uniquely, they do something strange when they're in low oxygen environments, when they're in an anaerobic environment. They actually ferment. They produce ethanol, which is alcohol. And no other animal in the world does this. Only plants do this, and apparently goldfish too. So if the coffee doesn't have oxygen in it, it might become an alcoholic beverage, and then we might not be able to sell it at our licensed venue because we might have the right license for it. So we should beware.
Fucking turned coffee.
So it can't be a goldfish then, is what I'm
No, we
hearing.
could use a different fish.
Because then it becomes a bar.
Yes, unless we make sure that we inject oxygen into the coffee.
Here's the thing. We're starting on the ground floor. We will be the first alcoholic goldfish coffee place. So,
So this is going to be Irish coffee with goldfish in it. That's, I guess, Irish coffee is probably improper coffee. Or any coffee that you drink without holding your pinky up.
I don't know,
George,
man.
No?
I drink Irish coffee every day in high school. Don't tell my parents that.
Yeah? I won't tell your parents
but
that.
That's how I went to school.
I will.
Was drinking some Irish coffee.
I think that's cool, but I think that might be like if a fancy member of the English Parliament saw you at school that way, just like when they were walking through your math class, and they had just given a speech to your gym class about the importance of showing up to vote in November in 12 years or whatever it was.
A member of the English Parliament would be doing this?
A member of the English Parliament, yeah.
Whoever this hypothetical English person is, I'm into it.
They're very fancy and they're very involved in American politics, and this is where
the
sort of
English
secret
major?
underground influencing. Yeah, no idea what my argument was going to be.
Alcoholic goldfish coffee. I think
something
that's
about
good.
it being not the English Parliament person would not think it was proper to go to school drunk on Irish coffee. Is all. I'm saying. Like
you're right, because the English people and Irish people don't get along, so you're correct on that count.
Yep.
That said, English people don't drink coffee; they drink tea. So they would think any coffee is improper, unfortunately. So
Kye,
I feel like
Kye?
we have to ignore the English perspective here.
Except
Because
that
they don't
Kye's
drink
bringing-
Yeah.
Like,
Kye's trying to say some stuff that is nonsense. He's trying to say that some English people drink coffee. That is fundamentally untrue.
How do you know that, Kye?
An
You're
English person,
Australian.
if
Kye,
an
you've never
English
been to
person
England.
drinks coffee,
I am
that is
a
an
learned
improper
individual
coffee.
who knows
Folks.
about the world. I happen to
If
know
I may,
that there is
if I may.
more coffee drunk in England than tea, and it is strange, but it's true.
If I may.
And I have a Doctor Who podcast, so I know a lot about England. It's called Brothers in Time. I do it with my cool brother.
Okay.
George, what were
we
you gonna
all
say?
know that the only people that drink coffee are New Yorkers.
It's only New Yorkers.
Yes,
I
it's
mean-
only New Yorkers.
Okay,
I don't drink
okay.
coffee. And you guys are all Americans, so you must live in New York. So sure, that sounds right to me.
Oh, that's right.
Sounds
We are
right.
correlation
We do
is
all-
causation.
It is
I-
a very congested city.
Me and Aiden live near the other New York that no one really really remembers, aka Chicago.
So New
Yeah,
York,
Chicago is
Illinois.
the other New York.
It's
So
the flyover
if a
New York
coffee
to get
is
to LA.
improper, so one way coffee can be improper is for it not to be New York or America. We've covered microwaved. We've covered goldfish. Is there any other way to make an improper cup of coffee?
Black.
Maybe it's black coffee. Why is that improper?
It tastes terrible.
I don't know. I drink my coffee black sometimes, but I can see what you're saying. Okay. What about but a coffee that is wearing a button-down shirt, but the top button isn't buttoned
How
and no
That
tie?
is-
So, interesting question. Does the coffee wear the shirt with or without a cup?
With or without a cup? That's a good question. If coffee wore a shirt, would it look like this or like this?
Exactly.
Isn't the hot sleeve
Would it look like a
thing on a
coffee stain, or
to-go
would
coffee?
it look like
The hot sleeve. Hold on, Jeff's got something. Jeff, go ahead.
Isn't the coffee shirt that hot sleeve thing that you put around a cup of coffee that's like hot, that cardboard thing? Is that a shirt?
That's kind of like a shirt.
Oh.
Because if so,
So if
we
you,
should
like-
brand those things that look like a shirt.
like onesie tucks.
We should do that.
Kinda like
Yeah, a good idea. Onesie tucks for
Tuck-shaped
coffee.
koozies. Tuck-shaped koozies, something like that. Okay. So, all right, everybody's here. The call is supposed to end soon, and we're supposed to play a game that Kye invented tonight. So I think we should try and wrap this episode up. This has been really fun. Let's do plugs. Kye, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah. You can also find me on a show called Crit Chat. I'm a pretty regular host there as well. Not a permanent host there either. But it's a Dungeons and Dragons advice show for Dungeon Masters. And we have a lot of fun there, a lot of goofs, just like Good Idea. And sometimes, once in a while, there's some actual like advice that you might want to use in your games if you want to do that. So you can find that at Crit Chat, wherever podcasts are found.
Kye, also want to say, in regards to you being a full-time host, you are always welcome here.
Thanks.
Anytime.
You can replace
George,
me
do you have
anytime,
anything to
Kye.
plug? George, you're not ever going to be replaced as long as you want to be here. Do you have anything to plug?
Oh, Kye's done. The plug.
Yes.
It's actually my cousin's birthday today. It would have been her quinceañera, I believe, a day or so ago. But because of everything that's happened, instead we all kind of just did a little mini makeshift parade, quotes. We kind of just honked like while we drove around her house. And well, she's
That's
15
really
now,
fun,
and I just
though.
want to say happy birthday, and I hope she had a really good birthday.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
happy birthday. Oh, that's so
Happy
cute.
birthday.
That's really sweet. We're recording this on the 26th of July. It's going to come out a while after that. So happy belated quinceañera. I hope I pronounced that okay. G, are you
Hey, you did pretty good. For a good Ingo, you did pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And lastly, I want to plug that I'm streaming now. It's still trying to get the ropes on it, but I've been streaming Ghost of Tsushima, the new samurai game, and it's been really, really fun. And you can find me there as well as Twitter at Ready Set Fire 123. Just look them up. You might enjoy something. Yeah.
George is really fun to watch, and it's a really friendly, calming stream to take part in. You should check it out. G, your turn.
Yeah. I'm plugging things.
Yeah, only if you
Your
want. You
Twitter,
don't have to.
maybe?
You can.
Okay.
You can, keep the business. Just don't get involved on the business end.
No. You can find me on like Twitter.
Gee, you don't have to plug anything in the business end.
I would prefer to. Don't tell Bill.
Don't tell Bill. We won't tell Bill. It's a secret that Bill can't find out about.
So you can find me on Twitter at G_the_B. It's just GEE_the_BEE.
They actually recently changed their Twitter to @_its_Ray. That's @_ITS_RAE.
Yeah, I'm on, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram.
I do not know what any of the handles on those are.
Don't find me on Facebook. I'm not comfortable with that. But Snapchat, anywhere else.
Don't find G on Facebook. We'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
That's not a threat.
My Facebook is for like my personal friends, but pretty much anywhere else you can follow me. I'm fine with that.
Anywhere else, Jeff? You got anything to plug?
Yo, find me on Twitter at El Jefe Tacoma. Same deal on Facebook. I'm a member of. I have some other shows on the network. Everything is Awesome, where I do in-depth interviews, talk about the issues. Been focused a lot on the Black Lives Matter movement at the moment. That's also been taking a lot of my time, so I haven't put out a bunch of episodes of the other shows. But I do Shattered Worlds RPG.
Yeah, Jeff's been deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
Deep in it.
I'm talking about
Jeff's deep in the paint.
Deep into the business end of the Black Lives Matter movement.
It's super
and
great.
also I do an actual play. It's called Shattered Worlds RPG, and Aiden's on it. A bunch of other great people from the network are on it. And
AJ's on it. I don't know if you've ever heard of AJ
and our
Generos,
former
AJ's awesome.
And our former Good Idea host, Kye You, is also on that program sometimes. So
Kye is actually a half host, just like you right now, Jeff.
Oh, fuck. This is so weird. Can't believe I'm a half host now.
It's just, we'll re-promote everybody to full hosts at the end. Don't tell. I gotta plug. I guess I'll plug my on my business end, the Twitter Kinsella Aiden so it's at KINSELLAAIDEN on Twitter. I do not tweet often. A lot of the time Twitter can just be annoying, so I try to use it efficiently. Also, we are going to put an ad right here, and also, or maybe at the beginning, because we have an Audible sponsorship now. We got to do that, so I don't know if we'll put it right here.
You can say things are
do that
pretty
recording.
serious.
Yo, I've been audibling the fuck out of
follow.
Everything. I did the Dresden Files, Harry Potter. I'm in the middle of the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. I love Audible. I got like
I never used
awesome.
Audible
Check it
before,
out.
but Aiden sent me Aiden sent us the link for that free Audible thing, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna try Audible now.
audibletrial.com/goodidea, and if you sign up and get a free audiobook, we get $15. So it's a great way to support the show. Anyway, hell yeah. Does anyone have a pick of the week that they would like to share? That's a piece of media that's been inspiring to you, or something else that you've found wonderful this week.
I have one.
Yes,
I
ahead.
recently
Kai
played.
goes first.
I recently played a little indie game called Brothers, Tale of Two Sons, and it's really cool. You play as two brothers simultaneously, and you control them with the two joysticks on the game, and so you're playing through like their journey, and it's this really cool hero's journey type storyline, which is very emotional, and I really can't speak about it very much without getting into serious spoiler territory. But it's a really cool game because of how it tells that story through the mechanics of the game and not just through the literal text. And I recommend that everybody who's interested in those kind of things check it out.
Ooh,
And it was called Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
that's good. That sounds awesome. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. That's how brothers usually work.
Mm-hmm.
Who else has something to plug? Jeff?
Yeah. I mentioned that.
And by plug, I meant pick of the week. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been reading the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, Hugo Award-winning writer, Black woman, and the first book, it's called The Fifth Season, is so powerful and impactful because it's a lot of it is about a class of people being everyone's afraid of them, and so there are all these terrible ways to deal with them in the law or whatever. And it's got a lot of wild parallels. It's really good. And I've been listening to the Spoil Me coverage of the trilogy. And Spoil Me is a product of the Unspoiled Network with Natasha over there. And it's really cool to read the book and listen to her kind of talk about it in between chapters. Highly recommend.
Fantastic. G?
Yeah. Not that they need it, but I've been super into the new Pokemon on the Switch recently, the Sword and Shield. And
are you gonna catch them all, G?
So that's what I'm gonna plug. What?
Are you gonna catch them all, G?
Yeah, I'm gonna catch them all. I'm tired.
Awesome. George, pick of the week.
I'm gonna go with this podcast that I've heard a lot about, and I've heard like a bunch
Is
of
it
adverts
our
about,
podcast?
But, no. I'm sorry. No, wait. Rewind.
You
yes,
did say
and...
I'm going to go with this podcast.
I was so looking forward to it being about this podcast.
It would be a fucking power move, and I'm here for it.
Repeatedly, we yes and. It's the secret to improv. George,
guys, you're going to love this podcast. It's this one.
But seriously, it's called Story Break. If y'all are familiar with the tabletop RPG podcast, Dungeons and Daddies, it's the same people minus Beth May, where they take an intellectual property or sometimes an original idea and try to break a story out of it in about an hour.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's hilarious.
It's really fun. George recommended to me the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds episode, and it was extremely funny.
It was so good.
Very
like 2 words:
also.
female empowerment. And Aiden, what would you like to?
And
plug?
if you want to know why female empowerment matters,
usually
listen
me.
to the rest of the episode. Is it my turn to do a pick of the week?
Yes.
Yeah. I just screwed up, but I did it.
It's okay, George. It's okay. Okay. Well, my pick of the week is going to be my pick of the week. I'm going to say is
it's this podcast
because I want as many possible instances of $15 as conceivably possible, because it would be cool to not have to pay for the show hosting. Download the audiobook for Good Omens on Audible and go through our link, audibletrial.com.
That's
audibletrial.com/good idea. The guy who reads it is very British and very good at acting and good at landing jokes. So it's super interesting. It's an audiobook version of the book Good Omens, written by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. Check it out if you love fantasy and humor and modern things.
Cool.
Is that it? Is that the podcast?
We never did our favorite bit of the episode.
Oh,
did we not?
Shyamalan twist. We're doing it after now.
Whoa. Shyamalan twist. Okay, Jeff, what was your favorite idea of the episode?
It was the idea of, thanks to Kye, of connecting all the koi ponds in the world.
Thank you, Kye.
Definitely said flood them, so that was definitely me, but sure.
Flood them.
I mean, I said connecting by pipes. That's different.
No, Kye did say connect them though.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I think we should argue about this for 10 minutes.
I think that it's time for me to go to bed because I have work in the morning.
George, what is your...
So 10 minutes is not a good plan for it arguing. So can you do 5?
Maybe I can do
George,
5.
what was your favorite bit of the episode?
Honestly, my favorite bit of the episode is the intro where I returned from the desert.
The intro where George returned from the desert. That was a fantastic intro. After this podcast too, we're gonna put in the thing we did before that intro.
Yeah,
Kye,
my favorite bit was also
episode.
same as George, him returning from the desert and the whole me replacing him goof. That was really
It
fun.
felt like the Odyssey for a sec, but without killing the suitors.
Yeah.
Sucking cactus.
Yet.
You suck the cactus.
You're on my hit list, Kye.
I just wanted to see George cut his beard off with the dagger that I said he had, but I never got to see it happen.
No.
Listen after the credits, folks, to see
Listen
if
after the
George
credits,
cuts
you
his
can hear
beard.
George cutting his beard off. It'll in grueling ASMR. Grueling ASMR. I like that as a sentence word combination, whatever that is. Did I have a favorite idea of the episode?
You didn't. I didn't get one.
Does anyone know?
No.
You didn't get one?
No,
I thought you
haven't
did one. I'm sorry. I heard you talk at one point, and I assumed. Gee, you're up.
I think my favorite idea of the episode was me telling Jeff that I didn't want to learn about his kinks.
That might have been even before the episode. I don't remember.
Well,
I was
you know,
hoping you would
I
forget
think-
about that,
I
G.
hope we were recording whenever it happened, but
I'm pretty sure we
It
were
was-
recording when that was
this whole
happening.
meeting is recorded. So the
Yes, it was because
Oh,
I said I
good.
said something about a
With that.
podcast within a
Good.
podcast.
podcast within a podcast within a podcast.
Yes.
So we
if you
rubbing
haven't heard
things
about-
on
heard it
legs.
yet, you're
It's a
about
good
to hear it
favorite
now.
Aiden.
My favorite idea of the episode was the ongoing demotions and promotions and value changes.
Yes, the Shakespearean running joke.
I just want to say that at this point, I feel like if we really are only able to have 4 hosts, I may need to step down and become a guest. Just for the quantum structure, because George and Kye are both so great, and the quantum structure of the episode is going to start breaking if the gestalts, if we try to keep these gestalts up for longer than they are designed to hold up. So if you see me next time and I'm just a guest and Kye is in charge or G is in charge, which is actually what it's looking like, would be the proper rate of succession just from a current number of votes and number of host points. I think G and I both have 1.25 host points right now. Or did I get demoted? No, I haven't been demoted to a half host yet, but I'm just thinking I might need to in the future. Step down. Anyway, I think that's all we got. Kye, thank you so much.
Anyone have
for
any
joining
Shyamalan
us.
twists?
The Shyamalan twist, man, was that we did it at the bits after the other things.
I think we had a
That's-
Shyamalan twist
it-
at the beginning. I think that was our Shyamalan twist.
Whoa. I'm sorry. Let's go back. We got to do this repeatedly. Jeff, let's start that over.
Yeah, repeatedly.
I mean, from the very beginning, because earlier I didn't
Repeatedly.
guess you hard enough, and we restarted from there. So let's go back to that.
Okay, repeatedly.
I'm fucking kidding. My Shyamalan twist is that I'm no budding.
Ooh.
No more. No, I'm sorry. No business ending.
We got a badass idea.
No, business ending. The good idea, because the show's about that. No, business ending. No Shyamalan twists, but that was good idea. We really took care of it in the business end this time. We're done here.
It's awesome, you guys.
That's good.
This episode is really interesting, too, because it just sort of ends.
Oh, hello again. You looking for more? Well, here it is.
Should we do a warm up? Now. Let's all say a word together repeatedly.
Repeatedly.
This is the worst warm-up.
Repeatedly.
I hate this warm-up
Repeatedly.
so much.
Do you have do you have an idea for a different warm up that we could all do?
No, I don't.
Repeatedly.
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 Really, we're choosing
Repeatedly.
repeatedly?
Repeatedly.
I
I don't know.
Repeatedly.
We are repeatedly using repeatedly because
Repeatedly.
we're supposed to choose a word to
Again
say
and again and
repeatedly.
again and again and again and again. Repeatedly.
Repeatedly.
Repeatedly. Repeatedly. Repeatedly. Repeatedly. Repeatedly. Repeatedly. Repeatedly. Repeatedly. Repeatedly. Repeatedly. Repeatedly.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Repeatedly. Repeatedly.
Has anyone ever damaged their tongue with tongue exercises?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure it's a muscle.
I'm definitely
Repeatedly.
sure that is possible.
Now, I have done that once, but it was a tongue-related thing that wasn't
Jeff?
that.
No. It
I
wasn't
think
a
we need
tongue
to keep this
exercise, or it
podcast
wasn't a.
Strictly PG-13 if Jeff is going to start talking like that.
Oh, God.
I hate talking about stuff like that. I'm sorry I brought it up.
I don't think we can commit ourselves to strictly PG-13.
No, Jeff, you know what? Tell us about your sex life. We all would like to know.
Oh, God.
I was married
She
at the
wants
time,
to
so
know.
it's okay.
Jeff was married at the time, so it's fine.
Apparently.
It's fine.
He waited till
You know,
marriage.
Jeff waited until marriage, and that's all you can do.
Oh man, that makes him a better person than me.
Any injuries after marriage are perfectly forgivable.
Any injuries after marriage are covered by the government.
So you're saying if I break my leg before I get married, it's a sin?
Yes.
If you break your leg before you get married, George, you're gonna have to go to hell.
See, we here at Good Idea, we stand against premarital injuries.
We stand
rough,
against
buddy.
premarital injuries here at Good Idea. That's rough, buddy. Who's it rough for? Who's it
Well,
rough
the
for, G?
unspoken
Yes,
thing we're
please.
all
It
avoiding
depends.
here is you don't want any marriage-related injuries generally.
You're saying we're all avoiding that, but I think what we're actually saying is very explicitly that it's totally fine to have marriage-related injuries as long as you get married first.
We're all on a midnight train, but instead of going anywhere, we're going to Bone Town. So let's just get to that station. Choo-choo,
On a
I guess.
midnight train to Bone Town.
What is a midnight train anyway? Really, like, because it's like
It's a train that you take when it's like 12. It's after 12. You know, you've been out in the big city.
But like, surely a
moving and
midnight train
shaking
can
and-
only exist for like that momentary fraction when midnight occurs.
No. A
Midnight
midnight
is
train is a
only
train that
event,
either
and then the midnight
arrives or
train-
leaves the station at midnight.
But then the train is gone, you know, for another 24 hours until it can exist again for a fleeting fraction of a moment.
This is what happens when a scientist talks to an English major.
Yeah, it really is.
Or I guess
Okay, wait, I'll
Kye
be the-
could be a
I'll be the-
philosopher as well.
I'll be the English major. Someone else be the scientist.
G, you're up.
What kind of scientist?
G, you're up. Foot.
Because
Pseudo.
I am a scientist technically, but like most people call psychology a soft science, which is bullshit. But you know, whatever.
No, I think that's a science, but you know,
It's
but
called a
here-
soft
I mean, it's-
science because brains are soft.
I did already endow you though as to be. This is true. This is true. I endowed you actually as a foot scientist, but I think I don't know if you heard me, but I think you could do that. Could be your thing, and I'll
No,
be the
it's-
English major.
In a way, it's the opposite of a brain scientist.
I don't know anything about feet, but I will do my best. That's all you can ask for
That's
as a foot
fine.
scientist.
All right.
All I know about feet
As
is
a
that
foot
James
scientist,
Cameron
like-
is into them a lot.
I know.
Oh,
that
James
they
Cameron's
have-
really into feet, you guys.
Hang on. I know that they have.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Hang on, guys.
I just thought of a meme. It's the one where it says
I had to Google
on the top
how
it
many
says
bone,
foot fetishist, and then it says foot
How many bone
scientist.
in foot?
eh.
How many bone in foot? I know how many bone in foot. There are 28 bone.
There are
I think
at
it
least
varies.
That's what I
two.
Googled.
There is at least
28
two
bones
in
later.
foot.
28 bone in foot.
Or 28 bones later. Hey guys, it's me. I'm in charge of the British Army. I'm an English major, and it's really important for me to know all about feet because my soldiers are
Wait.
foot soldiers.
So
The
all
British
foot-
military now
I'm
has
an English
majors.
major. I'm an English major, and I'm in charge of a whole bunch of foot soldiers.
Oh, fuck.
I'm a
I thought
major
that
in
was
the
a good
British
idea.
Army.
I thought that was a good idea. Turns out it was just a dumb pun.
When we're in
I
the
got to know all
trenches,
about
it's
the
called,
feet, 'cause
we're
all my
called
soldiers
trench
are-
foots.
You.
We're in the trenches.
That's
We call
not what
ourselves
trench
trench
foot
foots
is.
because that's how we part.
That's
We're
not
calling
what
ourselves
foot
trench
is.
foots, you know, because we walk around in the trenches, and you know, I'm no foot scientist, so you better tell
Do you
me
guys know
about
what
what
trench
it's
foot
like to
actually
read.
is?
It's
Oh,
like
we go from our
Australian
British
foot, but
English
much, much
major now.
worse.
It's
We're
trench
going to
foot
go
is
from our
whenever your
British.
foot really starts, like literally starts to rot in your shoes because you're wearing them all the time and they're getting wet. Yeah. So yeah, to call
Dry out
someone
those feet,
trenchfoot
yo.
is an insult.
I think our British English major might have something to say about.
But yeah, sir, if you want to know about your foot soldiers, just make sure they're taking care of their feet.
A lot of them have gout. They eat really decadently, and lots of alcohol.
Really? In the army?
I tried a rat once. It was dirty.
I gotta feed them well. This is England. This is not this shitty America. We feed our soldiers well. We eat all caviar all the time. Caviar and gluten. Lots of gluten to get gout. Well, I'm not an English major.
Say we take an officer call
I thought you were.
from
No, I'm an English major. I'm not an English major.
Sorry, also, which...
I haven't got my accent down yet.
Also, I just want to know, which war is this?
You're an English major.
I was going.
But you're not an English graduate.
Yeah, I didn't go to university.
Wouldn't that be wild if officers?
I went straight into the army.
Wouldn't that be wild if
and
officers
my accent got cut off, and it changed.
If our officers didn't have to go to college, this is what the military would be like. You guys want some more caviar? What? There's artillery. Shit.
Everybody, put your pinkies up. Put your pinkies up to protect yourselves. Drink a glass of tea.
Did y'all know in World War I, tank operators actually had a thing to make tea while in the tank?
That's so cool.
I guess
like a battery powered.
Yeah.
Was it like a battery powered hot plate?
You know how
batteries.
I don't.
During World War II, the stockings with the like hem up the back were really, really popular, but like not in high supply because they were required for the army uniform or for the military uniform.
Because rations.
I know what you're talking. Oh, like garters.
Okay, so
you're talking about garters.
So you know how women here would draw a line up the back of their leg with like kohl or eyeliner or something like that. I found out from Bill yesterday that the English women used tea bags to do that.
I've also heard about them like pouring gravy on their legs as well, like to give them like the coloration.
What the
Okay,
fuck?
I have two new fetishes now, guys. I have gravy on the leg, and I have tea bag on the leg. Thank you.
Gee, you had to put eyeliner on your legs before we started this because we said we were going on video.
Oh, yeah.
Folks, I think we now have a podcast within a podcast. Jeff's Sexual Awakening.
Rubbing things on legs.
Just be careful not to injure
think
yourself.
we need... Here's what we need. Here's what we need is to do like some kind of opening with a strong start that's specific. This is a good warm up. We can maybe I'm thinking put it at the end or something because it's funny. It's really funny. How do we open the show? Repeatedly.
Hey, do you guys remember that time where we just kept restarting the show? That was so much fun.
You guys remember when we just
all
kept doing the
intros.
show over and over and over? Oops, all intros. Start again. Oops. Start again. Start again. Start again. I shouldn't be snapping. I'm gonna be mad at myself when I'm editing this. You guys remember when we start the show over and over again?
All right.
Is everybody feeling okay? How's everyone feel emotionally?
It just sort of ends.